Hey YouTube, welcome to the Off Grid Mountain Homestead. This is part 2 of the tater growing. So I'm up here in the tater annex bed. I'm going to do the V-trench method. I had great success with this last year and the year before and the year before, etc., etc. This is the way I've always grown the majority of my potato crops, is with V-trenches. And for reference, the trenches are 8 inches deep and 8 to 10 inches wide, roughly the size of a number 2 spade shovel head. And then the soil is loosened up on the bottom. I'll show you that in a second, how to do that. But just giving you the background, and all this soil has been amended over the entire winter with rabbit manure and chicken manure. You can't really sit good on camera because the soil's starting to dry out, but there's a good 3-inch layer of manure and straw and all kind of stuff mixed in that I tilled all this in before making the furrows or the rows, whatever you want to call them. Last season I put 15 pounds of seed potatoes in and got the main harvest over 120 pounds. That was using synthetic fertilizer. I had no manure. Now I've got manure, so all organic this time. And I'm hoping to achieve at least 10 pounds per pound of seed potato this year, or somewhere close to that. That's my ideal number, is 10 pounds per pound of seed potato. So anyhow, let's get on with the main content of the video now. So I pre-dug these trenches, like I said at the beginning of the video. So I'm using a cultivator tine, and I'm just going through and scratching, softening up the bottom layer, pulverizing a smidge, and then we're going to hand place the potatoes in there. So just get a nice soft bed for the seed eyes to lay on, and I'll explain why I like this method before the end of the video. A little garden helper action going on today. Go check for squirrels in there. Go check for squirrels. Make sure ain't no squirrels in the garden. That's a good dog. So we've got one row done, or Mrs. Off Grid has done this row. She's shorter than I am, so it's easy for her to plant the taters. So yeah, this is her farming chore for the day, is planting. I did all the digging, she gets to do the planting. Just works out better that way. But anyhow, last year we planted 8 inches apart. And that's what I've normally done the entire time I've ever grown potatoes, is 8-inch spacing. I noticed last year though, I had a lot of gaps between the plants. It wasn't filled with tubers, just dead space in the soil. So this year, I'm going to space them out 6 inches apart. So we're going to demonstrate spacing, just easy, just get you a spacer, whatever floats your boat. We had the paint marker from the containerized planting, so this is exactly 6 inches, so she's going to space them out 6 inches apart. Then just move your measuring stick and just work your way down the row. Pretty easy. Yeah, the old milk crate stacking method worked good again. Nice development. If you remember that first video, didn't hardly have any little eye spots on them. Now look at them. Sitting there for a week or so in this little basket drying out. See what we're looking for. All leathered up and tough on the bottom. Look at the eye development starting on them. Real nice. Have you found any squirrels? Have you found any squirrels yet? Been looking for squirrels, hadn't you? I've been looking for squirrels. 10 minutes later, got all these rows planted down through here. So taters everywhere. Run out the ears with taters with seed pieces. I ain't had enough room. Have to get creative and make some more above ground beds or something, because I still got half a milk crate full plus a flat, and only got 3 more rows left to do. So, yep, it's okay. I will figure out a way to utilize all of them. And I piled the dirt from the holes above the hill because we're on a slope going down that way. So I piled the soil up on the uphill side. So when it's time to cover them, just come through and rake it over top of them, get a couple inches of soil on them. And for reference, all the rows are between 18 and 24 inches apart, just however it laid out when I was digging them out, as close as I could get to keep everything square and straight. So just go up your row and put your soil on there. Not too bad. You got some chunks, you can break the chunks up or pull them out, whatever you want to do. I just take this old cultivator and just go down through there like that. I usually break up them chunks of manure. Last row up here in the upper bed, you see these big wads of chicken poop. See, that's all chicken poop. right there, just mixed with straw and stuff. It's been composted in the garden over the winter. All right, so these rows are done. End up, yeah, about 3 or 4 inches of soil on top. I was aiming for 2 or 3, somewhere around there. Yeah, you know, it's taters. I'm gonna hoe up around them as they grow anyhow, so, you know, as long as you get it close. So all that matters on this, just get it close, get it covered, let them start rooting and growing. So there's all the rows, and you can see all the extra soil piled up above. I said, as they grow, as this shoot comes out of the ground, and they're about 6 inches tall, I mound that soil up to cover up except a little bit at the end, and then just do that through the growing season until I run out of soil and have a trench where the mound's actually going to be. Where the mound's at now will be a trench during gardening season, so that'll help hold the water at each row, and the plants will be mounded up and covered, so all that will be full of tubers. And you know, it's kind of hardened off around the sides, so the tubers won't grow. They'll all grow in this little channel right here, and that's why I do it this way. The potatoes stay isolated in this channel of softened soil. So when you go to harvest, you just follow down your 8-inch or 10-inch strip, whatever you're wanting to do, and just pop the potatoes right out of the ground. You know, it's pretty easy. And as these progress, if you're wondering how I do that method of hoeing them up, laying up as they call it, I guess you could say, I'll show you that as the growing season progresses. You know, it'll be, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, if not longer, before these come out of the ground. But I'll show you step by step throughout the summer, because, you know, that's what I'm trying to do, help everybody grow their own food and, you know, be as self-sufficient as possible. And no, I did not add any fertilizer to the in-ground trench method and the potato annex here. If you could just smell that soil, if you could have smell-o-vision, if you will, you could smell it. It's about pure tea manure poop off of the animals. It is stinky, organically rich. So no fertilizer on these rows yet. And as they develop out, I'll cover how I'm going to fertilize them throughout the growing season. But for starts, nah, there's plenty old stinky poops in there. Here's the next setup. Gonna grow the potatoes on top of the ground in this little bed, 3x8 bed right here. So I want to show you how to do this too. And also I got a raised bed from a friend's house. It'll be included in this video as well. So I'm trying to cover all the different bases, possible ways you could grow potatoes. So if you're growing on top of the soil like this, in this type of bed, you want kind of a boundary to hold your straw and stuff in. You can build the sides of the bed up as high as you want them, but if you're gonna just put your eye up and just kind of gently work the seed pieces in the ground, into the soil a little bit. You know, just check, make sure they've got good contact. And got these spaced out about 8 inches apart between the pieces, and close to 10 to 12 inches between the rows, if you want to call them that. And these are going to be the robbing potatoes here. We're going to rob these throughout the growing season for fried fingerling potatoes and mashed fingerling potatoes, stuff like that. Nice, tender, young, sweet potatoes. So after you get them set up like that, and take your waste hay or rabbit straw or whatever you got, so you can see the poop in there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this soil is mixed with composted rabbit manure and compost out of the compost bin. So this is native soil that's kind of poor condition, mixed with some good compost and rabbit manure. But just cover everything with a layer of straw or spent hay, whatever you got. And then cover it, make sure everything's covered, you know, and just fill it up as the plant grows. Just build the straw bed up higher and higher, and you can just reach in. And yeah, you can reach in there once they're growing. Just reach under the straw and grab what you want to grab. So just cover them to get them started, and just build the straw up as they grow. And no, that's not a dead rabbit in there. That's just nest box straw, where we change out nest boxes for the rabbits. So save all your nest box straw if you're a rabbit farmer. That hair is not going to hurt anything. Hair, haha. So just cover up your potatoes and they'll grow through there. And all this will eventually rot down, add nutrition to the soil as well. So that's the start of the above ground bed, one of them. Probably gonna end up having 2 or 3 more of them. I want to show you a raised bed intensive planting method for potatoes. You see a little 4x8 bed. And the potatoes are 8 inches apart in the grid pattern. The reason they are this far apart, this close together rather, is because that soil in the bottom is almost pure composted manure, so it's real rich. So you can see this side is covered up. So this side's laid out the same as this. It's just been covered with a couple inches of soil. So the tubers, potato tubers will start forming. The plant will start trying to come up. And as that plant grows up, this whole bed will get filled with straw as the potato plants work their way up. So a real easy way to harvest. You just need a couple inches of good rich soil in the bottom of your bed, 2 or 3 inches, and a couple inches on top of the plant to get them started. Then you'll throw straw or hay, whatever you got on top of that as they grow up. That'll keep the tubers from getting greened up by sun exposure, and help you to harvest as the plant grows. And also, if you want to rob the plant, take some fingerling potatoes, young potatoes earlier in the summer before the plants mature. This is a good, easy way to grow some potatoes. So that completes the in-ground portion video of the potato growing series. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't mind, hit that like button. Question or anything, put in the comments. And if you're not subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate a subscription from you. Hope y'all have a nice day, and thank you for watching the Off Grid Mountain Homestead.